As somebody that recently read House of Leaves and really enjoyed it, here are my tips and tricks on how you can get through this absolute monster of a book. This book really intimidated me when I first heard about it because it's so big, it looks so confusing. In case you haven't seen what some of the pages look like, I'll insert some clips. And so my first tip really is don't be intimidated, don't be scared. Don't get me wrong, some parts of it are confusing. The best thing that you can do is just dive into it, because whether you end up liking it or you don't, at least you've done it. My next tip, and something that I think you realize as you get more into the story, is that you can kind of skim read the footnotes. I would still definitely read them, but some of them are just kind of like names of authors and books. So those are the ones that, as I got more into it and I realized what they were, I would kind of just skim over them a bit quicker than others. Another thing that I did while reading this was that I had kind of two, and if you have tabs, I would definitely recommend tabbing this book. That's something that I didn't do, but it will probably help you out a lot. What I mean by 2 bookmarks is you have the first one, obviously, like you use a normal bookmark. So there's a big chunk at the end of this book that is just exhibits and appendices. The second bookmark I would use to mark how much of the appendices I'd read. So then as you're reading, you will kind of end up with something that looks like this. That was basically just to help me keep track and also to make me feel like I had less of the book left to read. I hope that makes sense. It is a little bit confusing, but it helped me. And the last thing that I would suggest is there's kind of 2 stories in here, so even if you don't like the other stuff, just read it for the Navidson records because they are incredible and they're like nothing that I've ever read before. And that part of the story is totally worth it. So yeah, they are all my tips for trying to get into House of Leaves. Please let me know if you've already read this book, what you thought of it, and if there are any tips that you had when you were reading it. As always, thank you so much for watching. Bye!